Life Talks.
Well, welcome everybody. This is Life Talks. Today we have Harry. Say hello, Harry.
Hello.
we have Siji.
Hello, Siji.
And we welcome a special guest, Ryan, all the way from Canada. Hello, Ryan.
Hi, good morning. How you guys doing?
Good morning. Hey, it's morning for you.
Well,
what time is it in Canada there?
Yeah, we have 9 a.m. here.
Wow, okay. So you're bright and early. Yeah. Yeah, so we're all from different parts of the world, Canada and Switzerland, and two of us in Scotland. Brilliant. Well, today's topic is on love. So just to throw that, I don't know if you're aware of that, Ryan, we're going to be talking about love. It's L, first letter of Life Talks. So let me just try and pull up a quote and maybe stimulate some ideas on the topic of love. One thing that I like is, I believe it is from a guy called Osho. I don't know if you've heard of a guy called Osho. He was part of some, I think he's dead now. He was part of some Zen Buddhist movement back in the 1980s and 90s. Anyway, so love is a wine. You have to taste it. You have to drink it. You have to become drunk with it. Only then do you know what it is. And that was from Osho. So love is like a wine. You have to taste it. You have to become drunk with it. You have to become a bit intoxicated with it. And only then do you know what it means. Any thoughts on that?
Cool. That question is directed to me?
Let's go for it. Yeah.
Sure. Well, okay. I'll start off by saying that, I guess I've thought about kind of what means a lot to me, and I've narrowed it down to three major categories, okay? And those are love, nature, and truth. So when I say love, I can kind of give you an idea of what I mean. And that is, I guess, when it's what connects people together, okay? So like I see human relationships as like extremely important, and I guess if you're wondering, okay, why was I put on this earth? Like a good reason could be, okay, like to just be there and serve others and love others, right? And like enjoy that dimension of life, right? So I think in a way, if you're not getting drunk with love and like really fully experiencing this side of life, you're missing out on, you're not living in a way.
Well, exactly. And do you think
in
love?
A way, yeah, in a way, it's necessary for life itself.
I totally agree with you. An interesting point you said is like it's one of the reasons, well, probably maybe the primary reason of this experience that we're having. Depends what you think. If we're just here for for nature's sake, or if we're here for something bigger, a bigger purpose, something that connects us all together. I personally believe that, you know, you've got romantic love, but you've got all different kinds of love, unconditional love, this kind of stuff. Is it a human experience, or do you think this is something that's much greater than us? You know, I often ask myself this question. You know, for example, can animals feel love, or is love the universal language, or is it just something that we perceive and we do ourselves? And if so, if it is a human experience, then being human is epitomized by loving, right? That's kind of my thinking on that. So perhaps if we're not getting drunk with love, as you're saying, and we're not, then we're kind of missing out, right? We're not experiencing life. Yeah, I totally agree. What do you guys think of that? Harry, let's speak to you.
I think love, to answer the question on love, is very complex topic. I mean, we can look at it on different aspects. You know, we can look at it on what it means to us, like emotionally, and we all like the thing. Yeah, you need to. It's like, you know, you don't know how skydiving feels until you go skydiving. You know, you can't really explain to someone what skydiving feels like, and you can really immerse yourself in that experience without having experienced it yourself. So you need to get drunk on love. You need to live it, understand what it is, and what it's not.
You know, sorry.
But also, I mean, looking at it from a more abstract, a more biological way, I guess love could be nature's glue that causes us to be a social species and differentiates us from, a tiger. I think, for example, tiger, tiger might feel love for its, love in quotation marks, love for its cubs, but in that it's the glue that holds the mother to the cubs. But I don't think a tiger would love any other tiger just because it's not a social species. So I think for us, it's really a necessity for our, the way that we were the way we evolved, and so I think social species, I like chimps or any other sort of species like those, I think they also do experience love. And as Ryan was saying, yeah, if if we take something so basic to our own existence and our own evolution, and we don't express it and we don't show it and we don't have it in our life, then we're not living as humans anymore.
Excellent, thanks, Harry. Any thoughts, Siji?
Yeah, I agree with what all three of you guys have said. I like the phrase "getting drunk on love." That's a good one. Yeah, I think that is what life's all about. Life is all about love, and if you don't have love in your life, then it's going to be.
Yeah, do you know what? Like the idea of getting drunk on life, on love, getting drunk on life is a good one as well. Maybe it's the same thing, getting drunk on love, getting drunk on life. But getting intoxicated, it sort of gives an idea of that it can be quite risky. It's risky to throw yourself, and it's risky to get drunk and intoxicated. It's a lot of fun, but there can be a lot of consequences for it as well. And maybe that's the whole point of love. It's that you got a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and I think the time that I've learned the most is when I've been through and experienced love and ended it and moved on. I think those times, that's when you grow as a person. But here's the thing, and I've often wondered this myself, is a lot of people, they might have different concepts of what love is. And I'm talking about more romantic love here for a moment. And that's when people, they feel possessive. They feel that they love somebody and that person cannot love anybody else, and you have to have them completely for yourself. And, that person then is in a state of fear. They don't want to lose that person. And that love kind of gets conflated with this idea of losing somebody or possession. And I'm just wondering, is that love, or is that coming from something totally different?
Yeah, that's cool. That puts a thought in my mind, and maybe that is that feeling that we try to say, oh, this shouldn't be love. I don't like this feeling, but like this should be a side effect of what love is. Maybe it's better to understand what love is by playing with the idea. Okay, maybe this is an integral aspect of like what a romantic connection between two humans should feel like, and if you accept that maybe love is a conscious representation of what it truly means to be connected in a monogamous relationship, as I guess humans have evolved to do, right? Then you get all of these feelings, and love is a very, very complex feeling, right? So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And who knows, perhaps because of our evolution, perhaps love, it's obviously necessary somewhere along the line. It's necessary. We've evolved with this feeling, just a bunch of chemicals, really. But I don't want to go too off track here, because I know this could go down a whole different path. Right. What I'm interested in is understanding different people's conceptions of love. It'd be like we're all males here, so we've all seen it from maybe a male perspective or our own perspective. It'd be interesting to have got some women on and seen, because I think maybe there's different perceptions, maybe in the genders or the sexes, about what love is based on our social upbringing, whatever, and also for just people's between different people. For me, love is about, first of all, loving yourself, because I think you can't love anybody unless you love yourself. And I think first and foremost, that's the number one thing that you've got to get before you can love anybody else. Because I think if you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. And if you love somebody else, you're going to love them only up to the same amount that you love yourself. So if you have a lot of insecurity and fear about yourself, that's what you're going to be bringing into a relationship. I think the most innocent and most pure form of love is friendship, because it's sort of a friendship which you don't expect anything in return. You just give love without expecting any love back. You just say, do you know what? I'm going to help you out because I love you, bro. Don't worry about it. You know?
Well, what do you guys think that giving love means? Like, what are some ways to show love for you guys?
It's a good question.
I think it depends on. First of all, I think again, love as a concept, I think it's very. There's no, you can't open a dictionary and be like, oh, that's love. You can say that for a pen. Everybody has the same idea of what a pen is. But love is it's very individual feeling, and I think everybody has different. So I think depending on the people, for me, I think giving love is just. I think on a friendship level, it's like accepting the person for who they are, and liking like what that other person is.
It's totally 100%. No judgment.
Yeah, just like appreciating who the person is, and just I think that's the basis of what I think giving love is.
For me, it is similar to what you said, Harris. Having someone who you understand, but then friendship love is someone you understand, but also who is willing to go that extra mile for you, to do the thing that most people wouldn't do and know you on that deeper level. And obviously for a relationship love, they're willing to go those extra 10 miles for you, rather that extra mile. But
for 100 miles.
Love when we're talking about love, it's similar to the psychology when they talk about the attachment theory. And in the attachment theory, the way you feel love depends on how you attach to your parent. So it's not like the whole Freudian thing with being in love with your parents, but the way, because initially when you're born, your parents love you, and the way they treat you, the way they look after you, but the way you see that as a baby is how you expect to feel love and understand it. So the way you attach to your parent is how you then expect love to be reciprocated to you. So I guess I grew up in an environment where people always went the extra mile. Doing the little bits and little things isn't a big deal. That's just normal. It's when you go that extra bit further. That's what.
I think that's a really good point you're making, Siji, because there's a lot of things about our preconceptions and our beliefs about a lot in life, but specifically about love, that we've inherited from our early experience from childhood and our primary caregivers, how they loved us and how we loved them, and how that has then progressed for our adult life. And so you're talking about how you receive love and what you expect the reception of love is, and it's about people going the extra mile, and it's about people, because just being normal is normal. So for somebody to show love, it has to be something extra special, right? It has to be something, there has to be some kind of extra benefit there, right?
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, because I've been in relationships with people who I've made them breakfast in bed and they're like, oh my God, you're the best person in the world. I'm like, calm down, it's just breakfast in bed, But that, it depends on the people. Normal things to some people isn't normal, but yeah.
Yeah. I think here's what I think. I think if you love somebody, then you're gonna go the extra mile. You're gonna go the extra 100 miles for them, and it doesn't seem like that because you are compelled to do it out of love. Whereas I don't think if you don't love somebody, it's gonna feel more. It's gonna be more forced. It's gonna be more difficult. So I think.
Going back to you were saying before about, you can't love someone if you don't love yourself. How do you know how much you love yourself and if you love yourself? Like, how do you
Right.
How do you know?
Do you know what, Harry? I was about to swear there. That was a really good question, and it's one that I'm starting to become aware of. I think it's when you do not seek validation at all from anybody. You do things just from the pure joy of doing it. You express yourself as naturally as possible without expressing out without expecting any validation from anybody whatsoever. You just do it because that's you. And once you get into that state of acceptance of yourself, that the only validation you need is from yourself, that's when I think you can say, okay, I love myself. And that's the same thing. I think if you go into a relationship and you constantly want attention and validation from them, you constantly, it's a form of insecurity. You know, you're constantly wondering, does that person love me? Does that person really care about me? You know, has that person got second thoughts? Or that person didn't validate me. They didn't laugh at my jokes. You know, this kind of stuff is really toxic, really, really toxic. And that comes from yourself. That comes from within. So, and I think if you love yourself, you don't need validation from anybody at all. You're going to go in a relationship with somebody just totally yourself, totally relaxed, totally who you should be. So that's what I think self-love is, a lack of the requirement of validation from anybody.
I agree. But I would say, like, obviously, it should always be balance. Balance is key. Because obviously, if you lack complete self validation from other people, you become to the point where you might be arrogant rather than loving yourself.
I don't think so. I see what you're saying. I know I do see what you're saying. I think we like to be liked, yeah. I think I love to be liked. I enjoy it when people like me. I enjoy people agreeing with me. I enjoy just having a vibe with people. But it's not a need. It's not like I need to be liked. It's not a need for me to be validated. You know, if I do something and, like, for example, you guys say, James, maybe you don't want to post stuff like that on Facebook. Maybe you want to tone it down. Or, hey, James, maybe you don't want to speak those things. Or I'd be like, all right, I trust these guys. Maybe I shouldn't. You know, so that's not validation. That's listening to people that have your back in a way.
Yeah, I don't think because I think arrogance is different. I think arrogance is thinking you're right all the time, and whatever anybody else says is wrong. So I mean, you know, if you were to with the James example where he posts something with a Facebook and we told him that, oh, you know, we don't like that, and then he's like, no, it's this is how it should, this is what it is, and you know, you guys are wrong. Like, fuck you. That's you know, then that's arrogance. But yeah, it's just, you know, him choosing to do that because he likes to do it, and then also taking the advice that maybe that we give him or someone else gives him because he accepts other people and loves them because they understand him and they want the best for him. Then I think that's different.
Yeah. See, I often wonder, so we've got love of people, but we've also got love of things, I think. I think we can love things, we can love experiences, and love, I think, contains within it an idea of loving what you do. So, you know, do you love your work? Do you love what you're studying? Do you love your hobbies? You know, I think and I think that's important. It's not just about finding love romantically. It's about finding love of life as well, finding love of what makes you tick. And I'm just wondering, you know, right, Ryan, have you got things, could you say that things in your life you genuinely love? You go, yeah, I love doing that.
Yeah, totally. And I think in a similar way of loving people, if you're focusing on a finished product, okay, so you're saying, yeah, I'm gonna do this task, or I'm gonna love this person, and what I aim to get out of it is a finished product or someone liking me, you know, this validation. Right? If you're trying to build something like that and you're more focused on what's gonna come out of it, then you're not actually enjoying the task or enjoying loving someone, right? So loving something you're doing is really not like focusing on like what's it gonna get me. It's really every single moment is like inherently valuable for you.
Wow, that is such a cool idea. It's like you're not focused on the outcome. You're just focused on the process itself. You're focused on,
and that goes with loving people as well, I think.
Wow,
like,
yeah.
That plays on your comment, right? With validation, a lot of like when you think you're loving someone, and I've made this mistake countless number of times in my life, and I've come to actually realize that it's about validation as well, in some senses. So.
How do you make sure when you're loving people, yourself, anything, that you're loving the moment and you're not
See, I don't know. I mean, if I were to go back and have this conversation with myself, who was like in a relationship, let's say for validation, I don't know what I would tell myself. Like, do you guys have any idea of how you can tell someone, hey, like, just try to be more in the moment? I don't know. Do you guys have any ideas?
I think we need to self-reflect. I think we really need to. We need to. I've read this in a book somewhere. I think I forgot where it was. I think it was maybe it was in Miracle Morning. I don't remember. It was in a book that said it was talking about, you know, kind of evaluating a situation where you're in, you know, and when you're in a situation, it's hard to see it from like a non-biased perspective, because you look at it from your eyes. So you really need to like almost, you know, take a step out of your body, out of the situation, and look at it unbiased, and look at it, you know, look at the present and what the facts are. You know, are you happy now? Are you enjoying this, or are you waiting for the future to get something? I mean, it's hard. It's very hard. But
I couldn't give myself the advice, but like, I remember a friend who started dating someone, and they had a routine that they used to do like day to day. This is what they always did because it's what they love to do. And then when they started dating this person, they stopped that routine and started doing something completely different. Yeah. And it was like, either previously you weren't being your authentic self, or you're now you're being your authentic self. So I couldn't tell, but I guess it didn't seem right. It didn't seem right, and that relationship didn't work. And I think it's a case of like what Harry said about taking that step back and evaluating the situation. I could do it for them because I wasn't in it, but it's something they had to also do. So maybe that is a case to just take a step back and evaluate your situation.
Right. And that's I think that's so important to have friends like who know you, and when you go into a relationship can see like how you're behaving, because love is blinding. It really is. And I don't know, I've had conversations with my friends after our relationship saying like, why didn't you tell me? You know, like, you should have said. So yeah, it's crazy. Your friends like are, I don't know, that kind of love. In the end, your friends and your family, that love that you share with them is like so important, and it just affects so many other areas of your life, your relationships, like maybe even your hobbies. But yeah, totally. And I don't know. It's yeah. Any comments?
I think it's a difficult thing. Going back to your original question about how do you know you're in the moment, or how do you know that you're thinking too much about the future, and Harry said you have to take a step back and evaluate it. And for me, I think it's something that it's just an ongoing process. And I've done it myself, where I've worried about the future, not just in relationships, with everything, you know, I've worried about the future. And I've learned more day by day to take it day by day. And I think that's important in any relationship. You can't, I think this idea of non-forcing. So if you force things in your life to occur. So I think a problem a lot of people have in relationships is they want to become exclusive like instantly, and they want security. I think that's the thing. They want security. They want to know that we're together and that's it. And, you know, you want to settle down. I think that's, you know, people want to get to that stage too quick, I think. And whereas if they just took it, and they took it day by day. And I know people who have been married many years, and they still take it day by day. You know, but I think maybe they've got that security, which changes the dynamic. So the point I'm making is that it's not a question I can answer, because I don't really know just yet. I think it's part of the human condition. You know, we are by very nature concerned about the future, and we're constantly looking at the road ahead, you know, and I think it just takes practice and constant evaluation, as Harry said, on these things. And I like what you said, Ryan, about your friends, though. I think it's totally true. I think, if it wasn't for me, in such a, you know, going through a tough time, I probably wouldn't be friends as close with Siji as I am now. It was through, you know, those times that I became such close friends with Siji, and he helped me out, and we help each other out. And then we got Harry, and it's just an incredible thing having friends that you can trust. You know, it is, and I think that form of love, going back to what I was saying earlier, is the purest form of love. I think it's not a sexual form of love. It's not romantic, but it's just
Sometimes it's sexual.
But it is. But it's just a pure form of this energy, you know, of loving energy, and and you got the love between family members as well. Totally different dynamic, totally different type of love. And what about the love between communities? The love of your neighbours, the love of or the love of nature, the love of, you know, you could go all different kinds of directions with this. And you know, I think it is a huge topic. One I think we'd need maybe a bit longer than 30 minutes for. So I think
a quick thing regarding evaluation. TV show I was watching last night, this guy was trying to decide between two girls, and he just wrote a pros and cons list. And I was like, okay, that's
I gotta try that one.
Make an Excel spreadsheet.
simple and effective.
Decision matrix.
Decision matrix. A risk analysis. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that's been really good. I think that'll do it. I think Ryan, thank you very much for your contribution. You came up with some amazing thoughts and ideas there. Some really interesting questions that got us thinking. And as always, Harry and Siji, love you two loads, and look forward to our next one.